Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is a bit of an experiment. I'm learning as I grow, but I'm hoping that what I'm achieving here is a bit of a live broadcast into our little group here, our Facebook group, called W.R.A.P in Canada, and our international community of practice and person first. And then I have in the chat box, what do you expect from this space and community of practice? So, hi everyone, my name is Angus Wright, and I also go by Angus by design. And you'll hear me say that probably a lot. You'll hear me say it on my personal pages. You'll hear me say it on my Facebook. You'll hear me say it on the World Wide Web, of which I have been involved in and a member of and a participant in for many, many moons. But here I am, right here, right now, having a conversation with you. And who are you? Well, I don't know. I know of you. I know that you've somehow reached out and you choose to be on Facebook. I know that we're connected through wellness recovery action planning, and that that this got its root in a book published by Mary Ellen Copeland, in which she put together some of her life work, took it to Vermont, where a community of peers back in the 90s created the 5 key concepts: hope, personal responsibility, education, self advocacy, and support. And then, a bunch of things happened, a bunch of organizing happened, and at certain time points, right, Mary Ellen Copeland hit just milestones that are just extraordinary. So if I'm thinking about some of those milestones from Mary Ellen, who started out basically having a mom who proved the world of psychiatric medicine incorrect, in that there's plenty that we can do for ourselves, no matter who or what or why we are, right? What we're experiencing. And so Kate, who's Mary Ellen's mom, her story is quite powerful. So if you're ever curious about that, let me know. But so again, right, this is all back in the 80s. Mary Ellen Copeland finding out from a doctor that there's really not much he felt that could happen for her, and her working with an organization called SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Association, in the United States. And what she did was she got a small grant and she produced a questionnaire. She got the results back, she compiled the information, and she put out a couple of books, right? Or I don't know. Again, this is Mary Ellen's story. It's me, a nearly 50-year-old Canadian, kind of recalling it to best I can, but the proof is in the print. This story is available from Mary Ellen. So I suggest go check her out. But another milestone was then, so in 97, Mary Ellen's a keynote. They workshop her material, and the 5 key concepts are one. I believe it was 2003 when they located the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery. And that was an organization, and they built that in trying to remember where that is located. I want to say that's in like Pennsylvania, and it's still there. I mean, you know, go look. Uh, CopelandCenter.com. But the Copeland Center was named after her mom, in memory of her mom, and the Copeland Center became the training center, and and essentially the collection and the collaborative of people who were putting the evidence to practice, who wanted to help to get the word out to people. And so that was in the early 2Gs. 2010, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Association, or SAMHSA, adopts W.R.A.P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan, as an evidence-based model of recovery. Okay. So again, this program that isn't a specific program, that's sort of intended to be sort of an all welcoming, all encompassing, and all inclusive thing, becomes evidence that, you know, people who participate in it, they achieve better outcomes, right? They achieve positive outcomes. And I'm telling you right now, those are the stories you want to hear, because that's where I learn everything about me. I don't learn from books per se. I don't, the friggin' binder, okay? I love me some Mary Ellen Copeland. I love all the peers. I love all the Jiminy Jehoshaphat's criminy crime waves, like whatever exasperated statement you want to make. That binder is still, it makes my eyes go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs every time I even look at that binder. But I love that binder. First of all, I love the retro factor of it. And second of all, I just love everything about it. But I love that I have it, because I got that binder. I unwrapped that material when I became a co-facilitator, and I felt like I was doing Xena Warrior Princess, like la 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 la, battle cry, because I really needed that material. I really needed to be able to know how to get a grip of my life. And so, but that's 2010. So SAMHSA again, kicking it old school and saying, look, I see what you're doing. I love what you're about. Here's a whole bunch of this, that, and the other, and let's make it. Let's make history here. So that's 2010. Now. Here's some drama. Here's some gossip, right? But not gossip. 2016, Mary Ellen Copeland, PhD, she sells the rights to her life work. Everything that she's amassed, what she does, what she's doing, who she's about. She sells those rights to an organization, a teeny tiny little organization, sarcasm, called the Advocates for Human Potential. Okay? Now, this basically gives them the book rights. They get the rights to the material, right? And they stay in partnership with the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery, And those two, basically it's like instead of it all being one pile of, um, you know, ADHD, as I would say, one of my little piles of things, the pile separates. And so now we have the books and the research and the studies and the tools under the umbrella of the Advocates for Human Potential, right? But now there's a partnership and an understanding that the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery is going to be the main certification group. Okay. So 2016 is when AHP acquires. Now, I say it like, oh, the gossip, because there's always, like, everybody who has an idea about a story, right? But really, what we're talking about is a really incredible organization, Advocates for Human Potential, who do just like unbelievably extraordinary work, who really have landed on something that's just incredible. And so 2016 rolls around. Now, what's all this about? I come on to the old rap scene not because I, was in the system and then someone said, here's rap and dirt. I have not accessed it in hospital. I couldn't get it to save my life. I signed up. I don't have the money. I don't have the means. I don't have the brain capacity. But I had the need and the want, and I had a couple of books that I got out of the library. And I know that there's people and tools that exist that I coulda, shoulda, woulda had, right? Because I'm just a little guy. I'm just a person, right? Where am I going with this? So I kept in touch. I kept going. I looked out. I found two organizations here in Ottawa that had the books and the rap and the thing that I wanted, and I signed up. And my gosh, did I ever have to wait? Wait. Hurry up and wait. So I am a psychiatric survivor. I've been in hospital frequently. It's very, when we talk about injustice, when we talk about systems, when we talk about incarceration, when we talk about being held against our will, when we talk about coercion, I mean, I've had it. I've experienced it, right? Um, so when I stumbled into a community because I had literally nowhere else to go, um, I feel like that was a saving grace. I feel like finding that book and signing it out for me and then staying involved in my own recovery and really wanting to access it. So I got involved in 2019 and I got to do my first seminar one, right? And I signed up through a survivor organization. I survived, in another organization of peers, leading peers, and I got to do my seminar one, and it was both the most wonderful and the most horrible experience. Wonderful because I still love the people that I was in the sessions with, and I have a lot of achievements, personal and otherwise. But my gosh, recovery is a biatch in real time. But then that led to an invitation due to a cancellation where I got to be a facilitator, and I became a facilitator in 2020, March. I got to overcome my fears and go to a place that I friggin' loved. I love community centers. I love old schools that have been converted. I love learning and being taught and teaching and community. I was living my full life, getting my Mr. Holland's opus up, right? And then, kaboom! Shutdowns, lockouts, shenanigans, politics, world events, yada yada, bing bing. 2020 was a bitch. 2019 was a bitch. 2021 was a bitch. 2022 was a bitch. All the bitches. It is what it is, right? But I also became a member of the Copeland Center, and I got involved, and I was learning and teaching and showing and growing and being and doing and licking and farting and tubing and all the adjectives. Point being, I got out there, and I was kissing babies and shaking virtual hands. For me, I was showing up like a space cadet. Sometimes I wouldn't even look at the monitor. I couldn't be bothered with what I was hearing because I wasn't connecting with people in these rooms. I was hearing people who were, I'm a professional and I do this and I do that and and I'm looking to do the derp. Well, none of that resonates with me. I'm sorry. Like, okay, good. You've got a job. You got a position, you're in a place of power, fantastic, you get some coins. Yep, all of it. I love it. Did sweet F all for me as someone who is trying to get a grip on life. But there it was. And I was acquiring the skills, I was acquiring the healing, I was putting it to practice. And I continued to go and grow and be and do and access things. And in 2022, due to my love, due to my heart and my soul, due to who I am, I was able to make it happen to become an advanced level facilitator. WTF. In what world in 2022 was I able to do that? This one. 'Cause I did it. That's how I'm here. That's what it did. Proof. So I traveled to California and I went on a 1 week retreat. And my gosh, was it expensive. But my gosh, did I ever get my whole life. I have a tattoo right here that says one new heartbeat. The artist, I can show you the artist. The guy looks like he could have been my cousin or my brother. This ginger guy in Santa Cruz with a bunch of stickers with hearts on it. And this one has a tree and a sun and roots. Just like me. So I traveled, but at that time I was also doing my very first in person in Ottawa W.R.A.P Seminar 1, co-facilitated with the person who had co-facilitated my W.R.A.P Seminar 1. Let me tell you, I'll be telling you for 100,000 years. I'm telling you right now, because that was an experience I'll never forget. Because it was the start of something. This. So 2022, I become an advanced level facilitator, and then here we are, right? I'm not involved with any organization that I started out with, and you can talk to them about it. I am in cahoots and trying to sort out still the many connections that I have. Um, Only recently having been put in a position where I'm going to have to create a summary of facts, and then have those supported, right? Because of when and how and who I showed up as, right? And so that's why I took this time to have this conversation with you, because I'm not going anywhere. But I will be accessing things and I will be continuing to speak up with a growing number of folks who coulda, shoulda, and would have done better, perhaps, but it's out of my control. So this is within my control. 2022 was when I became an advanced facilitator of Wellness Recovery Action Plan. I learned through the Copeland Center, and I achieved this through partnerships and sponsorships and collaborations with an organization called One New Heartbeat. Okay? They still exist. Please go see them. If you have any money, throw it at them. Because that organization, through the love and through peer support, and specifically support of me, they helped me make it happen, and will forever be in my heart and soul. Now, so it was November then that I was able to continue to acquire skills, and it was 2023 when I was able to have all of the qualifications and support to become a Peer Support Canada certified peer specialists, which is very important, because when we're talking about equipping peer support and equipping Canadians with Canadian peers, we need to develop the workforce. We need to have certification. We need to have a national standard, right? That is what we have as Canadians. I'm just going to let you know, we have a national standard to acquire a certified peer support certification. Okay? In connection with Canadian Mental Health Association and the organization Peer Support Canada. Okay? So if you wish to think about being a peer supporter, volunteer, humanoid, family member, person who does the journey, please consider studying and taking that exam. It's going to cost money. Start saving your pennies. Good luck trying to get anybody with money or grants to, share that. But if you scrape your pennies together, you too can become a CPS, just like me. And then haul ass, do the work on yourself, and continue to learn everywhere and anywhere peer support happens, and especially 988. Okay, so get involved with 988. Look at the research and the data and the tools and the so that's that. That's my soapbox for that. 2020. What are we now? 25? 2024. So 2023 is a significant time because it was the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery who have the standards and practices and all of the materials for WRAP and for all of that stuff between 2002 and 2023. They choose to discontinue the license as the certifiers for Wellness Recovery Action Plan. The Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery instead adopt the standards and practices as developed, as collaboratively developed and co-signed and signed off on, and they take up new partnerships. They focus on Doors to Wellbeing projects, and the Copeland Center for Wellness and Recovery and everybody and everything about it is friggin' fantastic. Go and get your membership. Go and get your certifications. Go and get involved. Just like me. Or, well, I'd like to be. So, but, again, the point being, there's another split. And the Copeland Center chooses to go their own way. And the Advocates for Human Potential, who own the copyright and the materials, they choose to go their own way too, which is to become the new certification program for WRAP. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, poke, poke. This is like, picture like Transformers meets human people and souls, okay? Because the history of the combined history of this moment where the Advocates for Human Potential take over WRAP and begin their certification for it, it's forever going to be that moment that people who've done WRAP since the beginning will be like, oh. And why is that? Because we wanted updates forever. We wanted material forever. Mary Ellen Copeland, PhD. My gosh, I want to be this person. Why? Because not only does she pump out the friggin' surveys in the 80s, not only does she friggin' workshop it in the 90s, not only does she got it thrown into Samson in the 2010s, then sells the rights in 2016 after opening up all the things that I just talked about. But now she's working with HP to bring up, refresh, update, do all the things for WRAP. So instead of that binder, we got a little booklet. We get all the ideas and ways, all the things that I had to put into my tortured little brain. We get to friggin' have in a handout now. We get to see in every accessible form from this Megatron of incredible talent, and I'm talking friggin' boom, huge talent, who now are embodying the freshest way of doing WRAP. And those voices are just incredible. So add the future of WRAP. Add those voices into your mix. Okay? Where was I? So that's 23. Now that's where I become a certified well-being mentor. Except I'm the same guy and it's the same education. Okay? The difference is that, like WRAP, like our crisis planning, things change. Things evolve, and there's always more choices and options. So we're not throwing everything out, we're just adopting and adapting. But for us, it's a new abundance. Then in 2024, Canada made history. We had our first Advocates for Human Potential certification for W.R.A.P and recertification. And your boy Angus here, alongside my dog Bo, became advanced level facilitators, recertified on Canadian soil. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I got to sign up not as a survivor of that organization, not as the guy who's begging and pleading and waiting. I got to sign up with the dignity and the respect that I deserve. I got to be there of my own volition, my own merit, and I got to be here of my own volition and my own merit. So in 2024, Canada had its first Seminar 3 produced by Advocates for Human Potential. I got to watch people who were in my first in-person Seminar 1 become advanced level facilitators. I got to meet people who had been doing it for a very long time. And I got to be me, a guy with a dog who has a life, has emotions, has a story. And that will all continue. So W.R.A.P in Canada, I started it. It's a Facebook group. I wanted to start it because I am and have been and always will be a soul having a human experience. I am, I have been, and I will be a person who is forever indebted to Mary Ellen Copeland's life work and the probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, past, present, and future, whose lives will transform as a result of the work they put in and the listening they do. And it's 2025, and the Copeland Center and the Advocates for Human Potential and One New Heartbeat, the Centers for Opportunity, which is also known as and especially known as the Recovery Program Solutions of Virginia, the Canadian Mental Health Association, Mood Disorders Ottawa, Mood Disorders Ontario, Behavioral Aid in Canada, the National Empowerment Center, SAMHSA, all of these things continue to grow and thrive. Okay? So that's been 34 minutes of me talking about me and talking about this. If you enjoyed this and it resonated with you, thank you. Please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are here and W.R.A.P is meaningful in your life, please feel free to share that. But this really is an open space where we really choose our adventure. Except we need to understand not only the terms and conditions of every single space we're in, We need to apply the safety agreement and the safety action plan to this space, that space, and every space and time. Because what I'm here to do is practice. And if you were part of my journey in Ottawa, you'll know that the people who were first learning W.R.A.P, they got to get together afterwards in a continued group where I said practice makes perfect. And it was a group that I had to create in order for people to have a chance to continue their learning. Why did I have to create that? Because I agreed to mentor. Because I said that I wanted to facilitate. So there are many ways to take a look at things, but there's only one way to practice them, and that has to be from our own selves. And the radical acceptance of sometimes it's going to work out and sometimes it's not. But I practice so that I can be the best co-facilitator, the best partner with the idea that I'm here for me and I'm here for the whole group experience. Okay? So please don't wait for answers. Please don't wait for all the things to line up. It already started. You're already in it. And the future of W.R.A.P is accessibility, inclusion, diversity, and equity. Not only from accessing other places and spaces and things, but how we are showing up to be inclusive, how we are showing up to be accessed, how we are showing up to be equitable, and how we are diversifying our worldview and our experience so that we don't have to buy anyone else's hype. People can keep your politics, you can keep your ideas, and you can keep your egos because everybody sees it. It's 2025. Ain't nobody fooling, ain't nobody. Okay? So if you want to engage with me and hear from me, you're going to have to learn about who I am and why I show up. And I'm sorry, there's no free passes. Okay? I'm self-taught, self-paid, self-managed. And if you have the coins and a budget, or you started as a professional in my life, well then let's go back to that. Okay? I am a consumer. I'm also a consumer survivor. So if you have any questions about my current certifications, my name is Angus Wright. I also go by Angus by design. I am a certified peer supporter through Peer Support Canada. I am an advanced level facilitator for the Wellness Recovery Action Plan. First time through Copeland Center, second time through AHP, and I am fully qualified and practiced and experienced in providing these supports and services, one-on-one, in couples and in groups, for organizations, for workers, for staff, for hospitals, for schools, politicians, all of the things. I am the self-proclaimed king and queen of W.R.A.P in union environments, in workplaces, and in justice circles, especially law enforcement unions, especially transit unions, especially in the subjects around mental health and accessibility in Canada. Please don't give me any more power than I have, because it's hard enough to get access to the things in my own block, let alone the things that you find on the news. Okay? So, I'm also a certified, qualified practitioner of emotional CPR. I am also a certified well-being mentor to the standards and practices of the Copeland Center. I have mental health first aid training, pastoral care service providing certificates. You name it, I got it. I'm also, when I went and become a certified peer specialist in Canada, at Peer Support Canada, they used to have a certification for mentors. Okay? That is no longer a thing. Peer Support Canada and the Canadian Mental Health Association, for their own reasons and their own seasons, no longer offer a mentoring program. I will no longer be able to qualify in any sort of way to be considered a mentor in any organization. And why is that? Well, because I was just given the exit papers from the place that I served that gave me the qualifications to be able to get that certificate, if it still existed. Which means that my service, my practice has been very beneficial for many other people, but it certainly has not achieved any status where I now become employable or I become given any consideration. Let's be real. There's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot for organizations, nonprofits, education systems, politicians, grant writers, and everybody. There's still plenty of work that needs to be done. We need to equip ourselves so that if we are choosing to show up in community of practice or care, that we're not making our lives or our problems the problems of the people who are seeking humans. Everybody who needs help and asks for it deserves to receive it. Point blank. So there we go. That took a turn. I feel like I'm on a soapbox. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a little personal mantra, and then I'm going to say that I'm grateful, and then I'm going to sign off. Okay? My goal is for this not to go beyond 45 minutes. Every minute of this was worth it. So may I be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May we be peaceful and at ease, and may all be happy. Just for today. I'm very thankful for every person, everything, and every opportunity. I'm so thankful for technology. And if you have any questions, thoughts, feels, or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I am super duper qualified, but it's gonna have to take communication and practice to reach me. Okay? Thank you so much. I'm Angus, Wright? I also go by Angus by Design. I am the creator and the originator of this group. Please invite everybody and everyone. If you'd like to get more involved in this group, please feel free. Seth Pearson is my moderator in there. He continues to be so. And if you want to be a moderator, or you want any part of this, or you want to practice, or you want to collaborate, please let me know. Okay? If you see what you see on my socials and on my thing, and you want to book me in for a hello or a who's your daddy or whatever the hell you want to do, I am bookable. I'm reachable. I don't live in a world where I think people are going to throw money at me for my expertise. So please just self-advocate for how I can support you and your organization, or your goals. Okay, because it's just about us being us, by us, for us. Okay. Shout out. Take care. That's 4 to 5 minutes. Peace.